Okay, hello and welcome back. This is not actually part of this tutorial as such as what it says on the title, that is the door. We're creating a door, which we are going to be doing. I've had to put something in here because I've forgotten to tell you something and show you something. Yeah, so to fix that, I'm going to show you now. I did quickly show you about ignore that door, that's the door we're going to make. This bit about Armor Cube, I showed you how that worked, but I didn't show you how we achieved it. So I'm going to go into my interact trace, and even though I've delinked this here, I'm going to show you how we can collapse this to a function. So let me bring back my event tick, bear with me a second. We'll go back to the same code as what you have, which is there, and we're going to make this the same as mine. So basically what I've done is checked a few things here and passed them on, and we've done interactions and showed the widget and so forth. So what you want to do is just drag this out the way slightly, because I believe, let me just check my other one. I believe I did that check here outside. Yeah, I do that check outside of my function. So what we want is everything up to and including this and here. Obviously you can't take the event tick node here, you can't take that with you. So everything from here to here we're going to collapse to a function. So make sure you're not overlapping any of these nodes, and then left click. Oh, make sure you're not doing any others above as well. So left click and drag up, so you've just got those nodes selected like I have. Make sure your mouse is over a node and right click, collapse to function. Oh, what have I done that I can't collapse to function? Too many output connections in selection. Branch is connected to, right, okay, right. Yeah, we're going to have an error here, so I'm going to show you how to do it. So we'll have to, just for now, before we can collapse it, is just hold ALT, click here and click here. We could still use that one, to be fair. The problem being is you can only have one output. You can't have two out of function, but I'll show you how I've gotten around that. So make sure you disconnect the false. We'll reconnect that in a moment, and select just those nodes. Make sure you hover over a node, right click, collapse to function, and there we go. It'll automatically collect up all the bits and bobs that you need to do. Yeah, apart from the false won't be going to there, but we'll deal with that now. We've got a function, give it a name. I called mine get trace by channel. Okay, so I'm going to go into mine now, and mine is a little different. So what I'm going to do is just drag this over here, drag this over here and over here. Yours will basically look like that, okay, except for this false. So let me disconnect the false. We've got a return node for that. Come off there. This won't be here, this won't be here. Just making sure. Yeah, so you'll have a return node, and your return node will be, double click this, like so, hit actor. But both the true and the false are going out to it. So what you do is break the false like that. Drag yourself up and tidy it up if you want to. We're sending out our hit actor, but on my other one I'm sending out also whether there is a hit or not. Okay, so to do that, make sure one of your nodes is selected, either the in or the out, it doesn't matter, this return node, and add a plus on the outputs and type in there is hit. Yep, it's already a Boolean by default. If it doesn't, just make sure you set that to Boolean and compile and save. Right, but we're going to need another return node, one for true and one for false, because it will always come out the same pin, but we need to set these values individually. Yeah, so if there is no hit, we don't technically need to set the actor at all, which we won't be. So let's make the false return node. So the easiest way to do that is drag off the false here and type in here return node, and it should be the one that's highlighted, so you can probably press enter. If not, just click on add return node. And we're not sending the actor out, and we're not sending a hit, because that is false. But on this one, which is true, we're going to send a hit. But now we need to test to see if it's an interactable component. So let me compile save that so nothing goes wrong. As you remember when we made this, if I click edit, you don't need to go in this yourself, I'm just showing you again. When I go to cube and I type up here tags, there are no tags, and here sphere, there is a tag with the capital I interactable. If you actually, to be honest, if you do open this, double click on that and right click and copy it, because we will need that word and you will need to have it spelled correctly. But you can type it by hand as long as it's spelled correctly, it's not a problem. You might have used a different word, I don't know. Anyway, so back to our new function that we've got. So we now have two return nodes looking like so. We now want to put in another and. Now what you could do, I've actually put another branch in here, but let's think sensibly. Let me just realign these so that in order. You don't need to do that. I just realised I crossed them over. Just make it look nicer, that's all, tidier. We now can drag out the hit component to there, empty space, and then type has component, sorry, type component. Oh, I can't even see what I'm doing. Component has, not a gas, has, and after the has, the only one that's left is has tag. Okay, and then you want to paste or type in there the word interactable or whatever the word is you're using. So I've pasted interactable in there. What we could do now to keep this a bit tidier is click plus here and add another and, so that all of them must be correct before it'll go through. So you don't actually have to have another branch. So this takes out an extra line of code. So in a way, it's a bit of an optimization. But you don't need to send the actor out here. You only need to send the actor out here and tick this here. If you wanted to, you don't have to permanently tick that box. You could just send out that because it will be true regardless, and I'll just prove that just by doing that. Yeah, regardless it will be true, or you can tick the box, and this one must be unticked and no hit actor. And if you compile and save that and come back to your event graph, so we now simplified that a bit. Yeah, we have our trace. I believe that's how I've got mine down here. Yep, go straight into the trace, and it has the hit actor and the hit coming out. I could have put the rest of this code in there as well. Probably the next bit would have been sensible. So if you view your code, come across and just select all those and hit the left arrow key, and we'll bring that all the way back. And there we go. So that's the difference it's made. So if you now look here, you go still check to see if it employs the interface. We still do the widget and we still show it or hide it. And that's all I've done here up until this point, is exactly the same, show or hide. The only difference on mine here is something we'll get to in another episode, is getting the icon. Okay, but I will show you that in another episode. But in fact, that does exactly what this does. So if I save that, come out, it should now, I'm a cube, I'm not, I'm a cube. Yeah, it just now sets that tag on there, and it's what we're going to need for this door that we're going to make now. In the next episode, actually, to be fair, I'll do it in the next episode. I'll put this as like an episode 3.5 update, and as you can see, we have a door, and it's aim at the frame, nothing happens. Aim at the door, it says you can open it. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do in the next episode. We'll put this as a little addendum, episode 3.5, and then the next episode will be making this door. So sorry about that. It's a good job I picked up on it when I was editing. It's a good job I edit and listen to every single minute of the tutorial. Otherwise, this could have been a mess. So yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye. And as you just saw, as I quit that, sorry about this, as I quit that, we got a bunch of errors, and that is the reason I put a separate branch in. And so I'm just going to quickly do that. I do apologize. That was the reason I had a separate branch. So make sure you get your new trace. Mine's just called new function because this is the one we're working with, but I've already got my own there. And we do need to remove that. So ALT, click on these nodes. And then we do need to put a branch in there. So I'm just going to shimmy those across. And we're going to pull this out. And branch. And we're going to connect this into there. And the false into the false return node as well. And that should stop us having that error that I just had when I quit then. There we go, it's gone. Yeah, my bad. That's the reason I didn't use the extra and the and pin here. So just remove pin. Just make sure that works. Make sure you move that and pin, otherwise you will get errors, or you might not pick up anything because it'll always be negative. So make sure you've only got the two back there. Right click on the extra pin and click remove. So yeah, you need the extra branch in there, and the false goes out to our return node with the falses on, and the true goes to here. Yep. Again, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.